Welcome to the Outdoor Training Workshop. If you want to replace your rim or your spur from your chainsaw yourself and you have to deal with the outboard clutch, here are a few simple tips to do it yourself. So make that the chain brake is disengaged. I'm going to remove the nuts. Like this. I'm going to remove the engine hood. And we're going to remove the spark plug. So now before we can remove the clutch, we have to block it. Sometimes people use metal pins and other stuff to block it, or impact screwdrivers. So what we're going to do is to use this simple rope. We're going to put it inside the hole of the spark plug. As much as possible. You need a rope that's at least 3.5 millimeters thick. And what we're going to do is we're going to block the rope between the piston and the inside top of the cylinder. And by using a rope, you won't create any damage to the piston top or to the cylinder. So now, while this is pushed in, you will see that we're going to remove, or we can remove the clutch with this 19 millimeters socket. So in this case, this is the same as we use for the spark plug. So it says off clockwise, so it's left thread. Instead of the regular screws you're using, you need to move the other way. So with the regular screws, it's counterclockwise to release. In this case, it's clockwise to release. So we're just going to put a little bit of pressure on this hexagon head, like this. Remove it. Make sure that you put everything in place, because there is a washer here behind, that you put it back on the right place. There is a bearing. Of course, the oil pump or the worm wheel from the oil pump is here. So that's it. If you want to replace it, you can just take a new clutch drum, or in some cases you only have to replace the rim that you slide off the clutch drum. To reinstall it, it's the same way, or the opposite way. You have disassembled it. So we're going to start with the bearing, the needle bearing. You can put always some grease to it. The clutch drum, make sure that it fits properly. That's in place. The washer, and then the clutch drum, and always tightening by hand. Now just here you have to be aware, because on the opposite side there is the ratchet system, and we may not force the ratchet system by just turning the hexagon head counterclockwise. So we are not going to force it, but we're going to remove the rope. So to lock it, we're going to move it almost a full turn. So I put a dot on here, so I know that this is the top dead center. I'm going to move it. Like this. I will put the rope back in. And of course with the left thread the clutch will lock itself due to the clutch drum. So when you engage the chain brake and you give a good throttle up, it will lock itself. But when you lock it, always hold the starter handle and then give it just a small twist so it's locked. You pull out the rope again before you do the others. To avoid that dust and dirt gets inside, you reinstall the spark plug. First by hand and then give it a good twist. So we click the spark plug head back on it. We're going to reinstall the engine hood. Sure that it fits properly, that the clips is on the right side of the engine hood. So this one is okay. And now we're going to reinstall the bar and chain. Now we will put the chain cover again. If you feel that it doesn't fit properly, you can always move the position of this pin, the tensioning pin or the chain tensioning pin, a few turns back just by turning this counterclockwise. So you create a little bit more tolerance or slack on the chain. And then give it a good push. You hold it steady, put the bar bolts or the bar nuts back in place. First by hand. And then of course you do apply the right chain tension by lifting the bar up, tensioning the chain. This. So one drive link just outside of this bar groove in the middle. That's perfect. We're good to go again.